Hello and welcome to this video series on getting started with TRISA. In this video, we'll cover the TRISA basics. This is Alice. Alice lives in the United States and she wants to send the equivalent of about $3,500 in cryptocurrency to her friend Bob, who lives abroad. She uses a virtual asset service provider to do this. Under the travel rule, Alice's VASP has a legal responsibility to keep a record of all of the parties involved, not just data about Alice, but also about Bob and his VASP. This is Bob. Bob also uses a virtual asset service provider to manage his cryptocurrency transactions. Depending on his local government regulations, Bob's VASP may also have a legal responsibility to keep records about Bob, Alice, and Alice's VASP. That's a lot of records. The recently enacted travel rule is changing how VASPs use customer data, as well as how much non-customer data they need to store. What is the travel rule? The travel rule refers to guidance published by the Financial Action Task Force, an independent intergovernmental body that develops policies to combat money laundering and the financing of terrorism. The guidance requires VASPs to obtain, hold, and transmit required originator and beneficiary information in order to identify and report suspicious transactions, monitor the availability of information, take freezing actions, and prohibit transactions with designated persons and entities. This raises many questions. How can VASPs make sense of each other's data? How can they keep customer details secure? And how can they trust other VASPs to keep their customer data secure? This is where TRISA comes in. The Travel Rule Information Sharing Architecture, or TRISA, was initiated in July 2019 as a response to emerging regulations from the FATF and FinCEN around data transfer for cryptocurrency transactions between virtual asset service providers. The goal of TRISA is to enable compliance with the FATF and FinCEN travel rules, as well as travel rules implemented by equivalent authorities in other countries, without modifying the core blockchain protocols, incurring increased transaction costs, or modifying virtual currency peer-to-peer transaction flows. TRISA aims to do this on a global level while protecting user privacy, ensuring fast and inexpensive transactions, remaining open source and decentralized, having an open governance body, and maintaining interoperability with other approaches. Who can join TRISA? Here is a list of some of the types of organizations that may wish to join TRISA. TRISA is designed with the 6 following guiding principles: open architecture, open source, secure, private, decentralized, and reliable. At its heart, TRISA is a peer-to-peer network. That means it is fully decentralized. No single person, organization, or government controls it. The peers in the TRISA network are VASPs, who are following their legal record-keeping responsibilities by exchanging customer, business, and legal data. TRISA is a special kind of peer-to-peer network, a trusted network. This means that the communications between peers are protected, unlike those on ordinary peer-to-peer networks. The protection comes in the form of mutual authentication, or MTLS. When Alice's VASP registers for TRISA, it receives identity certificates, which serve as proof to Bob's VASP that Alice's VASP is who they say they are, and vice versa. TRISA's messaging framework is based on proven security technologies, including a certificate authority, commonly used in e-commerce and government communications to issue identity certificates to members, as well as public key cryptography to encrypt travel rule data packets. Currently, the TRISA network includes VASPs from all over the world, including Singapore, Germany, Taiwan, the Philippines, Czech Republic, and the United States. Let's go over what TRISA is and what it is not. TRISA is a peer-to-peer network of vetted VASPs. It is a secure messaging protocol. It is an open source initiative. It is interoperable with other solutions, and it is a message layer on top of blockchains. TRISA is not a centralized service. It is not a means of address confirmation. It is not a proprietary service, and it is not a closed framework. And finally, it is not a complete travel rule solution. So why should you adopt TRISA today? First, adopting TRISA will allow you to signal to regulators that your business is taking the regulations seriously. Secondly, adopting TRISA will allow you to signal to counterparties that your compliance program is up to par. In the next video, we'll review how to get certified for the TRISA network. See you there.